she's a mean thing. The way she leaves me wanting more, yeah. Ain't nobody seen a girl like this before. This before.
Oh man.
Took another toke I miss when you made me feel alive like this. I don't wanna let go of this gift. The thought of you is hanging on. Caught up with the West Coast kids, kicking off her shoes to twist sheets. Got me feeling high on her kiss. Pull me in, off we go. And I don't wanna leave her. No, I don't wanna pack my bags and go. I don't wanna leave her. Dreaming out a West Coast line on this road. I can't help but think about her. I'm dying just to make this work. I guess some things in life are cursed, keeps us hanging on for more. Rolling up another split, leaning in, she grabbed my wrist and told me, don't you worry about this, I'll be beside you on the road. Leave you on this road. High tide, I love what you're tripping on. Surfs up, cokes out, what you sipping on. Hot looks, cold lips, think you could steal me away. Riff raff, fast cash, that's what we're working with. Long night, smoke this, stay on my level, miss. Looking at you, staring me down like where you're going with it. I could be with you for days and never tire from your gaze. 'Cause there's something about the way you move, something about the look on your face, something about the way you give me all something about the way you move, something about the look on your face, something about the way you kill me. Oh, I hold up your lips on my lips. Nothing compares to it. Baby, let me know if you're ready, though. I tell you I love what you're tripping on. Surf's up, coke's out, what you're sipping on. Hot looks, cold lips, and you can steal me. Oh yeah.
High tide, how long? What you waiting for? Surf's out, coke's out, you leave me wanting. Hot looks, cold lips, think I could steal you away, yeah. Real fast cash is what you're working with. Long nights, smoke days, I'm on your power trip. Looking at me, staring you down, like where we going with it.
I could be with you for days and never tire from your gaze. 'Cause there's something about the way you move, something about the look on your face, something about the way you give me. Oh, I hold up, something about the way you move, something about the look on your face, something about the way you give me. Oh, I hold up.
What's up, people? I wanted to try something new. Yo, you should cover interlude. Dude, I actually, many months ago, tried to recreate it. And it was really bad. I could definitely cover it again, but a long time ago I was like, oh, I can totally cover this. I'll put a link. It's pretty bad. What's up, Eden? John? And yes, I'm playing my own music because I don't want to get docked for copyright. Julia, I will answer that question in a second. I have lots of suggestions. Sorry, the camera's over there. Cover traffic lights. Man, I'm not familiar with traffic lights. Go ahead and link it in the chat if you want to. gladly check it out. This is the first time I've set this up, so can you guys hear me? Can you all hear me okay? For anybody who's just joining, if any of you guys produce music on any level, in the description of the live stream, there's a link to stems from one of our songs off of our latest album. And these stems are completely unedited. So what we're going to do is go through editing, mixing this track for maybe 2 hours-ish. It'll be a long stream. And basically just go through a tutorial on different effects. I'm not a professional, like I say all the time, so it's, you know, it's not super in-depth, but you could learn some stuff if you guys mix music. And also, the stems are so that you guys can have them, and if you want to do like a little remix or something, I'd gladly share it, put it on my SoundCloud, and maybe put a little playlist together of some subscribers who mixed the track themselves. I think it'd be fun. Just a fun little idea. I forgot that you can live stream on YouTube. So Julia, it depends. I mean, you can obviously just like, you can record with your phone. Like, that's always possible. And then if you want a cheaper option around the $100 range, you can use, sorry, this is really loud for me. Hang on. I have to turn down my music. So you can use your camera on your phone, and then you can purchase something like this. This is the more expensive model, but this is a Zoom H5, and they make one called the Zoom H1, I believe, and it's about $100. It's just a stereo recorder, so you can set this up on your desk in front of your guitar or whatever you play, and then overlay the audio from that, which is much higher quality, over the video. And then if you're getting more into like actual microphone setups, you're looking around the range of probably about $200, $250 ish to get a good setup with that. I have a couple different microphones, which I can show, but there's Audio Technica makes a good microphone. It's called the AT2020. And I used that for a really long time. It's a great microphone. And the Scarlett, I'm typing in the chat, 2i2 is what I currently use. Sorry. That's a great beginner option if you want to get into this sort of style of recording. And that way, if you have a separate microphone and you play your instrument straight into the interface, you can play an acoustic guitar straight into the interface. That's how I do all my covers. You can begin to put different instruments into it, and you're not stuck with recording the vocals and the instrument at the same time and having to mix both of those. So there's basically three options. You can use your camera phone and your camera audio. You can use your camera's video and purchase a recorder like this, a handheld recorder. And then the third option, which is the most expensive, is purchasing a microphone and a audio interface for your computer. So any other questions on that, I'd gladly answer. John, my life is going great. I'm super busy. We're winding down. I'm in the first semester of my master's program at Arizona State. So I'm really busy. I wish I could make videos more often, but I just haven't had time. So it's starting to wind down, and it's starting to get hot here. How do you create the chords and tabs for your covers and tutorials? I've been looking into relative pitch and trying to learn about that, but it still seems like everything I do is off. Let's see, create chords. So when I'm coming up with, so like if I'm doing a chord or a tutorial video by ear, let's say, and there's no prior chords or tabs online if the song just came out, what I'll often do is I'll first attack it on guitar because that's what I'm most comfortable with. I know chords on guitar. I don't, my ears are not trained, so I can't tell you a pitch out of thin air. But let's say I hear an Eden song, like Gold was a good example. I'll listen to it and I'll try to find the chords on the guitar just with the knowledge that I have. And then I have a video which I will link, which is literally, it's about finding chords. It's called How to Make Covers, Eden Covers, How to Make Eden Covers Part 1. And it talks about my progression from hearing the song for the first time to finding out what the chords are through an application on my phone. And then oftentimes I'll move to the piano. And that way I can solidify what I know. And then from there, it's tough from there. It's in terms of finding chords. Once I find the basic chords, I start to add my own little variations and try to make it different. So like if the Eden song is like if it's super, super heavy electronic, I'll be like, well, how can I turn this into a more acoustic song? Just give it a little bit different feel while still respecting the artist's decisions in the track, right? So yeah, it's a lot by ear. If the tab's not out there, you just have to sit down for a couple hours and really listen to parts over and over again. And I'm curious as to what you mean by looking into relative pitch. What exactly do you mean by that? Cool, Julia. Thanks for stopping by. I'll follow you on Instagram, and feel free to message me on there if you have any other questions. I could talk about it for hours, but I don't want to bore everybody that's not into that. So go ahead and shoot me a message if you'd like, and we can discuss it, and I can shoot some more recommendations. Hey, what's up, Uriel? I apologize. I haven't gotten to your DMs yet. I've been super, super busy. I really liked your cover. Bro, you don't need to credit me. That's all right. Credit Eden. I didn't do any. I copy Eden. Imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. But yeah, go for it. Do it. We'll keep doing this for a little while and see if we can get some more people in here if they want to join. And if you guys want to... I do. I copy Eden. It's... You're watching the biggest biter on YouTube. No, if you guys want to do some mixing, or if you guys are anybody's interested in that, check out the description and download those stems, and we'll get into that here pretty soon. But since this is the first little stream, it seems like people have some questions, so be happy to answer any questions. Talk about anything. I can talk more about chords and tabs and my method behind making my tutorials and equipment, anything like that. Also, I don't know how big the delay is. I used to stream on Twitch, so. Sorry. Thanks, Uriel. I appreciate that. I enjoy making the tutorials. It's always tough though, because it's like, I don't know, like, I mean, you've seen tutorials. There's people who make John Mayer tutorials that are like 2 hours long, and it's like, I'm not gonna watch all this. Like, I don't know if you thought I was gonna watch all this, but I'm not. So it's like trying to find a sweet spot between making it easy enough so that beginners can understand it, but I don't want to make it like, okay, you learn this one song, right? And then that's all you can play. Like, the goal with me making my tutorials is like, let's create sort of like this framework where people can start to pick up concepts that they can use in other songs and techniques that they can use in other songs, which will be helpful to them. Because if you just learn one song from me and it's like, okay, that's all I can play, and it doesn't really help you in the long run, I don't think that's as beneficial. And I appreciate that. Honestly, I'm slowly building the subscribers, but my channel has seen a 550% increase in subscribers in the last 3 months. So like, even though it's at 1,500, it's still like, it's progressively growing. Ah, okay. I know what you mean by relative pitch. No, I got confused there. I started thinking about like ear training. I mean, that is pretty much ear training, right? But for doing covers and coming up with the chords for covers, you don't really use relative pitch too much. Yeah, and I mean, I feel like relative pitch would be more useful if after you've recognized what the chords are, being able to move those chords, to transpose them so that they fit your voice, right? And I've had a lot of people ask me about that, actually. Like, how do I find my voice? And I'm like, I don't know. I haven't even found my voice. But the big thing is like being able to transpose those chords so that you can do something with it, and so you're not just struggling with it. So yeah, honestly, like I said, I'm not that great with relative pitch, so it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of practice. Do you primarily play guitar, piano? All right, around 6:15ish, we'll start getting into the production, the actual mixing, what we're here to do. Okay, definitely fingerstyle guitar then is really, I mean, if you're not really working with chords and you're working with individual notes, I can understand why you'd want to learn pitches perfectly. So you want to be able to play the lead parts on the guitar instead of singing them. You're welcome, Uriel. Can't wait to hear it. Send me the link when you post it, and I'll pin it at the top of my cover, of my cover video. Not that that's gonna have too much traffic, but it's a fun thing to do. So let's show the Dropbox here. So here's the link in the Dropbox. And so what I've done is I've produced the song already. And I bounced out every single instrument and vocal part into one track. And so they're all aligned with time. So all you have to do if you want to mix with me tonight is download these files. They're pretty large, so they're going to take a while. And then you highlight them all and drag them into your digital audio workstation, Logic, GarageBand, anything like that. And it'll load them all in. So it's going to sound bad because they're all, nothing's mixed. Like, that's what we're going to do. We're going to mix them tonight. But they're all going to be lined up, so you don't have to, move anything around. And everything's ready to go. They're just separate files. So that's how I'm going to do that. And I'll show you that process in a bit here. And if you guys haven't want to listen, our new album Skyline is out on Spotify. That's what you're hearing. Nick, they're 44.1 24-bit. BPM is 150. Let me double check that real briefly. I believe they're 24-bit. Let's see. Yeah, 44.1, 24-bit, 150 BPM. Yes, Uriel, you can absolutely buy the album if you feel so inclined, but I appreciate it, but if you send me your email, I will gladly email you the music. I don't. I appreciate that, but it's the music is just sort of a hobby, fun thing for me. I don't make a lot of money off of it, so it's like, go ahead and shoot me a DM with your email, and I will send you the album. And that goes for anybody. If anybody wants the album, it's on Spotify and iTunes and all that stuff. But if you'd like it uncompressed. Yeah, Nick, let me know if you see anything weird with the stems. I think they all uploaded, and I think they're all aligned, but there's a lot of tracks in this song. Sorry, I'm trying to get some stuff. Well, thank you very much, Uriel. I appreciate that. Appreciate you. Thanks for checking it out and wanting to support. Let's So let's get her started. Let's show you the process. So during this, if anybody sticks around and is curious about anything, please ask a question. And I will answer to the best of my ability. And if there's anybody else out there that produces, they can chime in as well. Like I said, I'm not the best at this, but I know my way around. Let's close this and let's just pretend like we're opening up a new project. So you would be doing this in your DAW. So here's all the files. Whoa, hang on. Here's all the files here. So once you've got it downloaded, you would highlight everything and go ahead and drag it in. So in Logic, it's going to say create new tracks. And boom. I've got all the tracks loaded in. So they're all audio files. And they're, like I said, they're all aligned so you can see. I try to do my best with the naming. But do not just play it right away because they're all very loud and you will clip. So let me turn up try to get it at a decent level. Let's just play this ambient voice as a... Whoa. Sorry. Is Logic just for Mac? Logic is a Mac program, I believe. Nick can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Logic is purely a Mac thing. It's like GarageBand's bigger brother. It's up there with Pro Tools, which is a Windows. Yeah, Matt, I totally agree. I didn't realize that I could transpose music 2 years ago, so when I first tried Interlude, I botched it, and I want to revisit it. Thanks for listening. I feel like I need to put my laptop somewhere where I can see it. Give me a second. And not break it. Oh, it's hot in here. Hang on. It's like 85 degrees. Time to buy a Mac. Yeah, it's I mean there's other options other than Logic. Everything that you're going to be seeing in this is like very basic tools. These are basic music production tools that you can get on any software. They don't have to be on Mac. So, we've got all of our tracks here. As I said, very, very loud. As a matter of fact, I'm going to turn them all to around -30, -20. Be wary because I bounced them pretty loud. So we have our ambient voice. If you're trying to do this, I'd head through and just listen to the different parts of the song. Uriel, Nick is correct. Check out Studio One. Any free. I mean, all I've known is GarageBand and Logic, so I can't recommend any good free or low cost Windows software. But got our brass. Hey Alejandro, I'm making a full mix of my own song with my friend Megan. This is it's sort of a future bass EDM style track, but it's full vocals. Like we recorded everything. This isn't like a mix. So this is like start to finish. I've basically I took my actual, the original file for this. It was like 68 tracks, and I had all my synthesizers and everything in there, so it was really CPU intensive. So I just bounced out all the stems. So this is just one track. Oh, we don't have audio from Logic, Nick. You're correct. Hang on. Sorry, you're right. I forgot to change the preferences. Now it'll blow your eardrums off. Thanks, Alejandro. It's actually an older song. It came out on our most recent album, but it's one of my favorite songs, and I think it's a good one to teach people to mix with, because it was our very first song that we recorded about a year and a half ago, and we really didn't know what we were doing. So the vocals are terribly botched, so it requires a lot of work, and I think that's kind of cool. Actually never used FL Studio. I know a lot of people who use that for making beats, but Logic has always just sort of stuck with me. As before I got into electronic music, I really just worked a lot with acoustic instruments. So FL Studio and Ableton never really seemed to be beneficial. All right, so let's start it out here. All right, so it's a mess. I normally started out with a kick. I feel like the kick in this style of music is very, very prominent. And so for this track, I actually have two kicks going. The first one, which we can see here, is solely in the verse. And then we bring in the other kick in the chorus. And the reason for doing this is I wanted something low and bassy when there's not a lot of stuff happening. But as soon as we get into the chorus, we lose it as we bring a bunch of synths in and a bunch of instruments, and it's really, really loud and annoying. That low bassiness sort of gets lost in the mix. So I actually brought in what I would call a transient kick for the chorus. So I'll play them each separately so you guys can hear the difference. I'm going to bring my kicks up to around -12 to -10 dB. So we're going to watch that in the bottom left. So I'll throw on an EQ here just so we can compare the two kicks. For anybody who doesn't know what we're looking at an equalizer. So from left to right, we have what we are able to hear with our ears. So down here in hertz is 0 hertz, which is subsonic frequencies, all the way up to 20K, which is a very annoying, hardly audible frequency to humans. So what you're looking at in the X direction is the frequency, so 20, 50, 100, 200, 500, and then on the Y scale, we're looking at how loud that is on a scale of infinity to, or negative infinity to 0, which we can see down here in the bottom is the same scale. And with a kick, obviously you're hearing a lot of bass. And you can see that because this is extremely high. Sorry, I'm checking the chat frequently here. Thanks, Alejandro. I love to show people this stuff because I've never considered myself a good producer, but there's a lot of people who want to learn just basic things that I always struggled to learn on YouTube. So I figured it'd be fun to do these little streams. Hey Nicholas, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the comment. Love making covers. Love making videos. I'm gonna keep doing it, so stick around. Thanks for watching. Matt, I'll check out Traffic Lights. I've never heard of that. You've given me an Eden song, which I've never heard of before. Yeah, Alejandro, this kick is pretty hard. It's a pretty heavy. It's also loud. So okay, let's go back to looking at sort of the. So most people, I personally will tell you the mistakes that I made. So here we can carve out our EQ. So by dragging these lines, essentially what we're doing is we're turning down this part that's highlighted by its specific color by the amount that we see here on the right-hand side. So at 2000 hertz, we're turning it down 10 dB. And you will see these changes. Let's just do it down here, for example. It's not going to be as bassy. So as I drag this up, we start to lose some of that clicking sound on the kick. And at first when I started doing this, I was like, we don't need that. There's no point. There's no reason why that's there, right? But it is important because, like I said, when we get to these really loud parts, there's a lot of instruments coming in. It's that click that our ears recognize to be the kick drum, and that's what brings in that bassy kick. So we want to leave that there. Now this kick inherently, it doesn't have a lot of that click. It rolls off audibly it rolls off around 500, which is considered mid frequencies. So it wasn't really doing it for me during the chorus bit. So let's bring in the other kick, which I labeled as the transient kick, because what we're going to do is we're going to leave the bass frequency on the kick that we have up on the screen, but remove the bass frequency from this transient kick. So we're only getting the click. This way, we don't have the two bass frequencies competing with each other and doubling their sound and ruining our mix, but we can leave that clicking sound in. So let's listen. So this kick, we can observe, has a lot more high end. You know, we can see from 1K onwards. I apologize. I know my camera's down there on the right-hand side. 1K onwards, we see a lot more information up here. So we want to preserve that as much as possible. What's up, Made? Made? How you doing, dude? Bob Ross of covers. That made me laugh so hard. Let's bring them in together. How you been, dude? Thanks for stopping by. So let's play just the transient kick here. We can see down in the bottom left that we're peaking at -15. And when we play the low kick, we're peaking at -12. But if we play both of them at the same time, they combine. And we're peaking at -7, which is way too much. That's way too loud. That doesn't give us any room to add anything else in our song. So what I'm going to do is, this is the transient kick. I'm going to give us a low cut. So essentially what we're doing is anything below 56 hertz, we're removing. And let's solo just that so we can hear it. It sounds like that's not what you want a kick to sound like, right? It sounds disgusting. Up here, around the 500 range, we can see that there's definitely tones at 500 in both of these. I personally prefer the tones in the second kick. It almost sounds like it's a ringing from the snare, but it's not. So I'm going to pull down the 500 range. And maybe even a little bit lower, just to where this one begins to come back in. We're going to make this a little bit wider. Okay, so now just from EQing, I haven't even done that much. And we went from like 7.1 to 8.4 when they're both playing. I don't really think that we're going to need to do much more EQ on that. Perhaps we can maybe bring down the lows in this one a little bit. It's pretty loud. But now we can just work with the volume. I'm going to leave the low one up. Okay, there we go. We're at -12. So you might be wondering, like, you might say, okay, we need some compression on this kick. These samples are already compressed, so I'm not going to do too much of that. And we don't really have anything to compare it to yet. Dude, I'm staying busy. Staying busy with school, making music. We're here doing a little live tutorial. So I'm going to leave my kicks there for right now. And what I'm going to bring in next is probably the sub bass, because we're going to sidechain the kick to the sub bass so that the bass tones will still not compete. So we have the sub bass here, and the sub bass sounds like this. Which is an inherently important part of this style of music, but it's pretty damn annoying. Hey, what's up, Akash? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Uriel, this is the same concept on any music production software. Different styles of music have different production methods, but in terms of like the tools that I'm using, the EQ, the compressor, reverb, all of those things will stay consistent throughout any music production software that you use. So you'll see the graph with the lines to change the EQ. You'll see compressors and all that stuff. It's very, very similar. Akash. Today we're gonna be mixing a song. So if you do any production stuff at all, check out the link in the description. Download the stems, and let me know if you want to do that, and we'll get you caught up. Yeah, it is some bassy stuff. So let's bring in what we've mixed so far. So if we bring up the EQ from the kick so we can analyze it, and the EQ from the sub bass, you'll see once again, because they're both bass instruments, we have a lot of competition in terms of the kick and the bass. And they're doubling up on these frequency bands, and they're going to really sound disgusting. And they're going to remove a lot of the volume that we want to leave for the higher frequencies. Verse is a good place to see this. So let's do some side chaining. So essentially what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be, every time the kick comes in, we're going to be turning down the sub bass so that they don't compete with each other. And then as soon as the kick goes away, the sub bass is going to come back up to its regular volume. Well, Akash, you're in for a treat. Can you guys see? Sorry, it doesn't show on my screen that my Logic is working properly. Oh, there it goes. My stream was just kind of frozen. I don't know. It was really weird. You can take exactly what you're learning in music performance and apply some of the same concepts, at least with the instruments in music production. So stick around, and maybe you'll maybe some things you'll recognize some things. Sorry, I get sidetracked a lot. So what we're going to be doing is turning down this consistent bass every time the kick comes in. So in order to do this, we are going to use what we call a bus. So we have our kick here, which I'll solo. So down here, we have our what are called sends. So essentially what we're going to be doing is sending this input to another channel strip or another track. So at first, it's going to get a lot louder because it's going to be playing both channel strips and outputting both signals. So let's send it to a bus. We're going to send it to bus 1. So a bus is technically one channel where you can send a bunch of other channels to control them all at once. It's like a group. So we can send all of the bass instruments to a bus and then control all of the bass instruments with one plugin. It's basically a way to condense certain frequencies of instruments. But for the kick, what we're going to be using it for is to monitor when it comes in and out and use that bus to signal when the sub bass should be turning down. So what I'm doing is I'm sending the full signal of the kick to a bus, and that bus is right here. So it's gonna be loud. It's doubly as loud. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the output on the bus and tell it no output. So now you're gonna be seeing the signal coming through, but it's not actually coming through the speakers. Damn. Nick, I'm using a I'm using some software to double the to record the desktop audio. It could be screwing it up, the multi-output device. Let me know if that fixes anything. Yeah, the kick is pretty hard because there's multiple channels. Cool. Let me know if that happens again. I'll just change the buffer size. It's probably, my computer is pretty powerful, but I don't know how much of this stuff it can do at once. Also, the bit rate that YouTube accepts is 160. So the bit rate from the audio coming through the stream is really crappy. All right. So we are going to take the sub bass and we're going to throw a compressor on it. For those of you guys who don't know what a compressor is, 10-second crash course. It essentially takes, let's pretend this is the loud part of whatever we're playing through Logic, and this is the loud part. The soft part and loud part, excuse me. It's going to take the loud parts when they get too loud at a threshold that we set. So anything above that is going to get turned down. Okay? So by turning down the loud parts when they're too loud and keeping the soft parts where they are, we can then turn everything up so that the level becomes more equal. So what we're using the compressor for this time is we're taking the input from the kick. So we're going to set what we call a side chain to bus 1. So now what it's going to do is it's going to take the kick, and every time the kick comes in, you're going to see the compressor turn down. I think I put it on the wrong. I put it on the kick. My bad. All right. So you can hear the kick, or you can hear the sub bass come in and out. Bruh, fucking sick beats. Thanks for watching this stream. I appreciate it. Let's just make it extreme. And then let's turn off the kick. So we got rid of the kick, but we left the signal, so you can hear it turning down. It's kind of weird. It's a weird sensation. So we have to be careful because the more we duck it, the more we, ducking is the term of bringing it lower. It's a terrible way of explaining it. By turning it down every time the kick comes in, it's going to inherently get louder. So there's a couple things that we need to look at here in the compressor. And one of those things is the attack. So the attack is how quickly this is going to come in when it recognizes the kick. So an instant attack, very, very quick. And you can see this on the graph, it's pretty visible as well. If we set a low kick, it's kind of delayed. For this, I'm going to set a pretty quick attack. And then the release is the exact opposite of that. It's how long it takes for the bass to get back to its regular level. Dude, I'm glad you're learning some stuff. Cool. Cool. When you go to record your instrument, you can use some of this. Don't take my word for everything. Like I said, I have basic knowledge, but if there's anything here that interests you and you want to look more into, I can send some links to professionals. So the release is sort of a preference. We don't have a lot of hard-hitting kicks, so like you see this side chaining done a lot in like dance music, where it's like, because that kick is coming in on the downbeat every single time, so you can time it to go perfectly louder and softer, louder and softer. With this, we have instances where the kick is just right here, so you can see the kick. So I think what I'm going to do, just to be tasteful, is I want that to come back to 0 as soon as the neck kick comes in. So let's watch it. Cool. There's some mistakes in here. This sub bass is way too loud. It should not be that loud. I kind of dig that. I'm not going to EQ the bass right now. We'll do a lot of shaping. We'll do a lot of EQ shaping as we get further along in the song. But for right now, I think I'm going to leave that. Messing up again. One second. How about now? Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. I think it's just something to do with my audio drivers. The software that I'm using I'm using a multi-output device to send stuff to my ears as well as send stuff to OBS, so it might just kind of be screwing up. So I'm going to have to change the buffer size every now and then. It could also be the bit rate. If it gets too loud, could be screwing up. Every time the lows get louder, those kicks start to fuzz. I think what you're hearing, Akash, is this transient kick that we put in here. It's kind of got this white noise-ish sound on the end of it. We'll adjust volumes as we get further. Let's see, what should we work with next? This is a simple one. We have a vinyl scratch. Tasteful modification. I'm just going to turn that down. All right, as long as we're on the bass stuff, thanks, Akash, appreciate it. Thanks for the like. Let's work with the chorus bass. So in the chorus of this track, we have some extra bass things that are a little bit higher on the frequency scale, so we're able to hear them. I've got a little wobble bass. Let's find it. Wobble bass, here it is. A disgusting instrument. So let's check out, let's throw on our EQ like we always do. Check out the spectrum here. This is going to be competing again with all of the kicks and stuff, so we're going to bring those in. We're also going to sidechain this to the kick. Just a little bit. I'm gonna get rid of the bass frequencies that we already have from the sub bass, so they're not, once again, not competing. Sub bass on the left. You can see pretty much the same here. We don't want that. Sorry, I'm just kind of making fine adjustments. Cool. That's fine for now. Let's do some piano stuff. Actually, before we do that, I think I'm going to compress this wobble bass a little bit with another compressor. So that first compressor is coming in when the kick comes in, and this second compressor isn't looking for the kick. It's just going to be coming in when it gets too loud. So because this style of music is just so loud and in your face and there's no dynamic contrast, I'm trying to make everything as compressed as possible so that it's all just loud. That's okay for now. Let's get some actual interesting stuff in here. So after I mix something, I personally just like to change the color of it. And this is a Logic thing. I forget how to do it. Just so I remember that I've worked on it. And let's go do some piano now. Oh, we did this one too. Huh? Damn it. Sorry. Hey, what's up, dude? Half, how you doing? You downloaded it? What did you download? Maybe Nick can help you get things set up if you need it. And then we can get you in here and try to get you mixing some stuff. That's fun. Half, do you do any mixing? We're doing a little mixing tutorial, working on an old song. Basically doing it from start to finish to see if we can get a decent sounding track. And I will play you what we've mixed so far while I turn on the air conditioning because I am fucking burning up in here. Sorry, I know that's probably really annoying, but I need to turn it on for a little while. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with FL Studio, but as long as you can load in these tracks, these are just what I did is I bounced all of the tracks out as audio. So these are just separate audio. So all you have to do is put this audio in your system, and all the effects are the same. It's just compressors, EQ, it's basic stuff. Yeah, my AC in here is annoying. All right. Where the piano at? Here's the piano. So here we've got our, this is basically our lead verse parts. So the only thing happening in the verse is the kick, the bass, the piano, and the voice. Everybody say hi to my girlfriend. What's up, Nick? How was your... Sorry, I haven't answered your Snapchat. This is why. I'm talking to my friends. Yeah, Half. There's always a time to start, and there's no better time like the present. So load up FL Studio, download these files, and let us aid you. Yeah, John, I learned all this by myself. I spent a lot of time my sophomore year of college and junior year locked in my room like this and just watching YouTube videos. I actually have a YouTube playlist of like 80 some odd videos that I learned all this from, which is public on my channel, I believe. And it's just trial and error. But this song we actually made a year and a half ago. When is it recorded? So let's bring in the piano and the kicks and the bass. As always, we're going to bring up an EQ. So this piano is pretty quiet as it is. It's actually a Native Instruments grand piano plugin that I have. So I've done a lot of EQing on it before I brought it in here. I'm gonna bring down a little bit of the bass. And because it's the only instrument here, I'm gonna boost it a little bit. Kind of just bringing out the high end a little bit. It's not gonna make a big difference, but... And I think that should be okay for the piano. Sorry. I'll find a better way to do it next time. When that happens, is it just my voice or is it Logic? Or I mean, is it just Logic or is it my voice as well? Ah. Sounds like my sustain pedal kind of screwed up there. Yeah, I've thought of collabs. I haven't really, like I said, I don't have too much time to make videos, so I'm just now starting to ask people about collabs. Collaborations seems like the best way to grow a channel. Now that we have the piano in there, let's do the snare. Similar to the kick, I have two snares, one for the verse and one for the chorus. As always, we're going to throw an EQ on. The reason I actually picked out this snare was because it has a little bit of mids in it. It's pretty mid-heavy, and I kind of like that because there's not too much happening. And I believe, yes, there's claps as well in the verse. So those claps are gonna claps are pretty relevant around 1 to 2K. It looks like the snare's pretty heavy in the 500 range, which is all right. And then one thing we always got to look out for is in some samples and stuff like that, we can get noise in the 20 to 50 range, and we always want to throw a low cut on here. So we turn that, we get rid of that. Think of it like stacking. That might seem very minimal right now, but if we have 40 tracks going with all of that, it's going to be loud, and it's going to be there without you even hearing it. I mean, anything below 30 hertz we cannot hear. We can physically not hear it. So I like to just get rid of that. So I'm going to, well, that's the claps. This is the snare. I'm going to kind of do a small pull down here. Oh my gosh. Hi, Mama Shelly. Honestly, that kind of like at the end of the snare is really annoying, and I don't like it. So I'm only going to boost the highs, even though that might be happening around the 500 range. Love her. Love your mom. Your mom's cooler than you. Dude, get those exams done. This video will always be here. It's going to be on my channel. We can do this again. We'll figure it out another time. School comes first. Half cool. Check it out after this. Did you send it to my email? Nick, I'm curious if you're vibing along with this. How far are you, and have you done anything with it? Because I don't know. I'm kind of torn. If I don't know if I want the snare more prominent or the claps more prominent. Let's move into the verse snares. Like I said, I would normally be compressing everything, but a lot of these samples are already compressed, so I'm not going to worry about it for right now. Once again, we're going to get rid of that low range noise that we don't want. Yeah, Nick is in you. More claps. Oh yeah, Nick. There's two Nicks. Yeah, I'm not really gonna worry about that clap too much, or the snare chorus. I think that's okay for now. Let's see, what should we do next? Just gonna mark these so I know I've done them. As long as we're on the topic of drums, we might as well hop into these hi-hats that are in the chorus. Yeah, Uriel's gonna perform. Dude, good luck with that. I wish you the best in your performance, and I can't wait to see the video. I hope that goes well. Let me know if you need any more help with it before then. No, in Logic you can literally do anything. What I've done to make it more simple for this video and to also cut down on my CPU power is I've bounced out everything as an audio file so that anybody watching could download it and do it as well. Because I have a lot of synthesizers that are paid synthesizers and things like that. So you can't use them unless you have the license. So what I've done is just bounced out the whole entire file. You know, even the parts where there's nothing happening in it, so that we can just save it as one big block. It's easier to look at and it's easier to mix. The actual track for this song has, or the actual track count, I think it's like 74 tracks or something like that. Like, it's an absurd amount of tracks. Dude, thanks for sticking around. I'm glad you like rock and roll. It's pretty funny that tutorial video I figured would be like super popular. Everybody was asking for it, and it's like one of the most popular guitar songs to learn. And it didn't perform nearly as well as I thought it would. But I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you're sticking around. I appreciate it. Let's see. These hi-hats actually have quite a bit of mid-range in them. Maybe not. Once again, just going to drag a low cut up, just in case. So for anybody just learning this stuff, like you have presets in all of this software. So if you're not really great with your ears yet, and you just throw in your hi-hat and you're like, okay, I need a hi-hat EQ, brighten hi-hat. It's not gonna work for every little thing, but it will help sometimes. It'll get you somewhere to start. That's fine with me. Yeah, I will, this video will actually be up on my channel, and I'll keep all of the stems in the description and up on Dropbox, so you can download them whenever. All right, there's one more part to the drums in the chorus, and that's this drum build-up and chorus bit. And it's sort of these effects of people so let's listen to that. No, so all of this, well, presets in terms of like for the EQ and stuff like that, there's presets where you can like, I'm talking about for the EQ, I'm not talking for the actual instrument itself. For the actual instruments that you're hearing, I played on my keyboard like a year and a half ago when I recorded this. But of course there's presets for those things as well. Like if you're just learning and you're like, okay, I need a piano and I want to sound it like, I want it to sound like this. You can find something that sounds like that, where you don't have to sit there and scroll through all the little tabs and little knobs to get it to sound like what you want. If you get more picky and you start to learn what those knobs do, then you can start to screw with that stuff. But you know, if you just want a piano, you want a higher end piano, you can click on the preset. But everything in here has been tweaked in one way or another. So like what you're hearing here is a collection of samples that I put together and then edited with reverb and echo. That's actually a drum roll reversed. When I play my tutorials, it depends. If there's a tab out there like for his older stuff that is useful, I'll use that as a starting point and gather the chords from it, and then I'll make little tweaks myself to make it sort of interesting and unique. And that's why you'll never really see a perfect like tab to my tutorial, because they're a little bit different. I like to have songs where they already have the chords out there because it makes it easier for me. But a lot of the stuff off Vertigo that you've heard, especially like Crash, which was done like 18 hours after the song came out, that was all done by ear. And actually you can check out, I have a tutorial called How to Make Eating Covers, and it basically teaches you like how I find my chords and how I go about listening for chords and songs. Alrighty, let's get into the synths after this, because that's the most fun part. I think we're gonna have to automate the volume here because this is really loud. What I'm doing here is automating my volume so that it turns down at this bit and then it goes back up when it comes in. And because that part is, it's really, really loud and it comes in quickly. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to EQ it. I'm going to compress it just enough so that that loud part isn't too loud. Once again, you can see how much it's turning it down. Without it. Should be all right. I've never heard of that song. I will have to check it out. Holy War by Jacob Banks. Wait. Whoops. Stop. Oh, okay. I was thinking of a different guy. I think that should be okay. I think we can turn up that automation now. Jumbled mess. Did it fix? Okay. Cool. Fuck it. As long as we're here, we're going to let's hit the chorus synth. This is my favorite part of the track right here. I didn't mean to turn that up. So it's actually important to note here, I did sidechain work on this synth before I exported it, so we don't have to do it here. It's essentially got the same thing that the kick and the sub bass are doing, where it's ducking down, but it's doing it with this chant. So that it stops every time before something new comes in. So this is really, really compressed as it is. We're going to do a little bit of EQing. Let's bring in all of the synthesizers that are in the chorus. Nikki, look at the chat. I do all the. I have my best friend Megan helps me with it. She's I'm only 23. I don't have a wife, but I Megan's actually it's funny because one of my best friends, Megan, who I do all this music stuff with, she sings. She's lesbian, so like she's a hardcore lesbian, but she's like super super gorgeous. So like even the boys and all the girls like her. So she when we sing these songs about like liking another person, I'm always singing about a girl because so it sounds like I'm singing about her, and then when she sings, she's actually in her head writing about another girl. So it sounds like I'm being denied in every single song. All right, we're going to bring in all the chorus stuff. No, you're totally good. That's fine. That's totally fine. I can understand why, because we make music about girls and boys, and it's like we sing about each other. That's what it sounds like in the music. So we have two competing tones, mainly in the chorus. I left the chorus. There's not many vocals in the chorus. There's some like yelling in the background. But let's play that for you. Let's just show you the chorus. That's the only vocals in the chorus, really. So we don't have too much to compete with in terms of loudness in the chorus. Meaning we can afford to turn up these synths a little bit more. But we don't want the low end from the brass competing with the synth here. So they're pretty similar. I'm gonna take down a little bit of the low end in the synth because we have the wobble bass down here, which is giving us the woo woo. Which we can hardly even hear at this point. I feel like the synth doesn't really have enough high end. So I'm going to give it a little boost around 5,000. When I make these moves, like these little tiny movements, I don't intend for them to be final. I really want to get that grittiness from the trumpets and the whatever else there is in here. I do like that. However, I kind of do want a little bit more reverb on them. So another great thing that these sends are for, so the same way that we sent the kick to a bus, we're going to send the horns to a bus, but instead of applying a compressor, we're going to apply reverb. So now, instead of actually changing the reverb effect itself and turning it down and up, we can just control how much of the horns we want to send to the reverb. That's way too much. So we can start to pull back. And then we can solo just the reverb to see what that's sounding like. And I don't know if I really care for that, to be honest with you. So the same way we applied an EQ on the instrument itself, we can actually apply an EQ to the reverb. And I think what I'm going to do is get rid of that ringing. Perhaps maybe still just a little bit too much, but don't mind that. I feel like that's all right. I feel like that's okay. Let's bring in the lead pluck. This is actually something that I never intended on having in this song. I didn't really care for it at first, but it does kind of add something. So let's see if we can make it usable. It doesn't fit the beat. So I think what I'm going to do, first of all, EQ it. Honestly, it's almost a little bit off tempo. Hey Akash, thanks for stopping by and watching. I wish you the best on your exams. Thanks for sticking around so long. It goes for all 7 of you. It's been almost 2 hours. I can't believe you're still here. Have a good night. Or morning. Oh, man, you know, in terms of song first or lyrics first, that is something that I still struggle with, really. When I first started making... Well, first of all, I can't sit down and be like, okay, I'm going to write a song today. It doesn't work like that. And I feel like most people will tell you that. Yeah, man. So I think it's like chicken or the egg. I think song first, but I don't like make a whole song like this and then go like, okay, I'll put lyrics on it. It's like I'll hop on the piano or the guitar and come up with some chords, and then I'll start writing the lyrics, and then maybe I'll do like half of a verse, and then I'll come up with a hook, and then that's like, okay, this sounds good, I like it, and then I'll put the lyrics aside, and then I'll do just the music. And then once, because I'm not going to continue with something for hours and hours without feeling confident about it, really. Not a dumb question at all, dude. I ask myself that question. This needs reverb. However, I'm not going to send it as a bus because I want to be able to control the reverb myself. So I'm just going to throw a reverb plug on it. And I'm going to use something large. And I'm going to turn it way down. Perhaps not that large. And that's just getting really ringy. I don't like that at all. Hey, John. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching Head to Sleep. I will absolutely stream more times. I'm actually... My friend Megan that I make all my other music with is making her own EP, and I'm producing it. So I will be doing this with some of her tracks, and not just this boring stuff, but other streams as well. I'm going to stream some music, some live music, but we'll be working on some of her tracks for her new album. She just doesn't want to release them yet, so have a good night, and we'll see you soon. And I'll put the final product up somewhere. I actually just got today accepted, well, not accepted, I hit my 4,000 hours watched in the last 5 months or whatever that is. And I have my 1,000 subscribers, so hopefully a partner here pretty soon. We'll see. Now that sounds disgusting, but yeah, I don't like that at all. Let's just be weird with it. Let's have some fun with it. Let's make it wide, shall we? Let's just see what it sounds like if we put this on the outsides only. This is a free plugin called Acon Digital's Multiply. And I'm going to drop in a enhanced stereo. Yeah, reverb on piano is tough because, I mean, the piano has such a large range in terms of frequencies that it hits. One thing to think about is that rumble might be higher in the EQ than you think. Also, where are you EQing it? Are you EQing it on the piano or are you EQing the reverb? Because I'm having that issue right now, and I'm still trying to figure out where exactly it's coming from. I have a feeling that it's because I'm just using too much and too long of a reverb. I mean, we can... It's not that bad. It's really not even going to be heard. Let's just keep putting crazy effects on it and see if we can't find something that we like. Let's just try a phaser. Because why not? I kind of dig that. Audio bug again? Sorry. Yes, Nick. Welcome, Nick T. Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. Love you too. I am remixing from scratch an old song that my friend and I made. So yes, I am editing a full song, part by part. And we're doing it together. So if you mix any music yourself, you can download everything that you're seeing on the screen. Will be downloadable in the description. So check it out if you'd like to. And we'll be putting out the full thing. Did it get fixed? So right now we're just working on the chorus synth part. Well, if you're learning how to mix, as we said a little while ago, never a better time to start. Give me 1 second to text my beautiful girlfriend. Sorry. I don't know if she's watching. Oh, excuse me. All right, we're back. These background plucks are kind of weird. Kind of like the chorus plucks. I don't really dig it. They're kind of harsh. So Nick, the new Nick who just joined, it's all about the EQ. It's only about the EQ. Yeah, Half, you can do whatever you want with the stems. You can take just the kick and make something, I don't know. Like, I had somebody remix this from Europe, and it was really, really cool. This is kind of harsh. More reverb. Hey, Julio. How you doing? Welcome to the first stream on this channel. Today we're mixing some music. So if you want to join in, stems are in the description. If you produce music yourself. I believe that these are lower. Yeah, they're lower in the chorus. Cool thing to look at here, open up your mixer window so we can watch everything that's happening. That part we haven't touched yet. All right, let's listen. Oh, no, we haven't touched my favorite. Hey, Aura, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you guys watching. Looking at these little tiny blinking things on his screen. Thanks, Julio. Man, you just got to keep doing it, really. I know it sounds so cliche. I forgot who else I told this, but the thing that I try to push in my tutorials is to teach things that you don't watch once and then never visit again, or that you don't learn specifically for that song and then can't use the next time. You know, a lot of people who study music tell you don't read tabs, don't read tabs, don't read tabs, and that's true to an extent, but if there's techniques that we can implant in your brain in those tutorials that carry over to the next one, I think that's what's important. So I think it's that repetition. And another piece of advice is do what feels right for you. Like, I don't technically hold my pick right. And, you know, a lot of people at first told me, don't do it that way. It's going to hurt you in the long run. But as I continued to play like that, I adjusted it to how I needed to hold it, and here I am. So, you know, I'm not a great guitar player myself, but just keep doing it. Bar chords are the worst. Bar chords are very, very bad. In fact, bar chords are the reason why I bought an electric guitar. The acoustic... Alright, this is my favorite part of the chorus. I fucking love this. So this is actually one of Logic's stock synthesizers, and it's just a pluck. It's like a harp pluck. And I put a little bit of what they call wood on it, so it's a little bit heavier in the mid-range. A tiny bit of reverb and a little bit of glide, so it kind of goes wah wah wah. It's kind of weird. And then an arpeggiator, and just went up and down the scale. Oh shit, the key. F sharp minor, I think. Let's see. F sharp minor, BPM is 150. I don't know why it says 120 up there. Let's play an F sharp minor. Guitar Pro app on the phone is a great tool to have. No. No, that's not it. What is it? I just wanna feel. Hang on. 1 second. Fuck, I completely forget. Oh, it's been so long. Let me text my friend. May have a way to find out. Hang on. This will be cool because I'll show you guys the. We'll call this colder. YouTube. Give me a second. Rock and roll on guitar. Like acoustic. I have a rock and roll electric tutorial. No. Sorry, 1 second. Dude, why am I so unsure of what key this is in? I apologize. It's been so long. I think it's F something. I have heard of Times Like These, and I fucking love that song. And I did a cover of it on my Instagram a really long time ago, but I never did the whole entire song. I learned a bit of it on piano, but that song has some really interesting chords in it. I really like it. Gonna EQ this harp. So what I'm doing here is I'm just gonna scrabble through the frequencies and find one that's really annoying. Like that? No. And I'm gonna turn down just that frequency. I will, yeah, I will definitely do a cover and a tutorial. I kind of have like a backlog of stuff that I need to do, but I'll put it in there. It's a doozy. This might sound weird with some reverb, but we're gonna try it anyways. All right, boys, we are nearly there. Stick with me. Delay? I don't know why I didn't think of any delay. Good idea. Good call. Let's just do an echo. Whoa. My mind is blown. Let's try a stereo. Ooh. No, hang on. Where to 1/8 that? Kind of dig that. I don't know if you guys have stereo on the stream. Dude, I wish I had sausage fattener. I actually had the FabFilter plugin suite, but I had the trial, and I fucking loved it, and don't have it anymore. I need a saturation plugin for sure. The actual mastered version of this was used with a saturation plugin. These already have delays and everything on them. One thing that we haven't touched yet is the FX. Thanks for the love on the track. Did he really tweet about it? That's great. Yeah, I love FabFilter. I fell in love with the free trial that they had. I just can't. I mean, it's like $500, which isn't bad for a plugin suite with a student discount, but at the same time, I can't afford that right now, or else I'd totally do it. I'm also I have the trial for Isotope. My professor recommended it, and I mean I dig it, but I don't like it as much as FabFilter. FabFilter was great. I'm really curious as to what Eden uses for his vocals, like the distortion. Tell you right now, there is hey, Down, thanks, appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. What video did you see? This song has way too much kick, by the way. That bass is way too loud and way too low, so we'll address that if that's bugging anybody else, because it's really, really bugging me. It's just all bass. It's all kick. I'll answer the school question in a second. It's kind of a long answer. And those vocals they're rough without any editing, man. I tell you, couple more things I want to do here is the pre-chorus piano needs to be turned down. So let's hop in here real quick. Because this synth actually comes in and replaces the piano. This synth right here, which we haven't even edited yet. We're gonna get rid of the lows here. It's really, really mid. I mean, I guess we can leave it in. What I'm doing right now is copying the automation on the wrong layer. Damn, dude, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Glad you liked the crash tutorial. That seems to be the most popular video on the channel this far. Eden is a great dude. I love his music, if you couldn't tell. And I grew up playing violin and switched to guitar, so I connect with him on many levels. But he's very talented, and he has an extreme range with his voice, so I like to copy his stuff. Ah! What the fuck? No. Bad. Yeah, I listened to a lot of ATO stuff. It's pretty funny because you can tell when it's Eden. He has that song Dark Room. And it's like, yeah, he definitely produces. That snare is bugging me. Can you guys tell that this snare cuts? It's like, it sounds like it's got reverb on it and then it just cuts out. We're gonna send it to the reverb bus. It's not really doing much. Let's try a delay, an echo. That's not gonna work. Nah. I'm always too picky. Oh, I didn't turn this down all the way. Oh shit. I forgot there's the water droplet in there. It sounds like somebody taking a dump. I thought I got rid of that. Oh, damn it. Plink. Let's just get rid of that. That'll do. I have listener reflection. I don't remember exactly how it goes, though. That was funny. All right, we are nearly there. See if we can keep this under 3 hours. We have to edit the outro synth and where does that yeah come in from? I forget. What is this? Yeah. It's a little bit too loud. Hey, Luxembourg. Thanks for subscribing, Dark. Appreciate it. I hope that nuke symbol in your name doesn't imply anything. I'm kidding. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for checking out the channel. I appreciate it. So it makes me want to keep making more tutorials and stuff. Oh, who asked where I go to school? Logan. I go to school at Arizona State University. And I'm currently I got my bachelor's in digital culture. And right now I am getting my master's in digital culture. So, digital culture is kind of a strange program. It's actually in the School of Arts, Media, and Engineering. And I came into this program because I was in high school. I played a lot of instruments, and I thought, cool, I'm going to play music for the rest of my life, and I'm going to play violin. And then I kind of had a existential crisis, and I was like, I'm not good enough to play the violin the rest of my life. So I went online. I'm from Northern California. And I looked up digital media and music, and the digital culture program came up, and I was super, super intrigued. And I came down here for a tour, and part of me really liked it, and part of me had no other choice. So I came to Arizona State. And so we're very cross-disciplinary. We have people who are into like animation stuff. We have people who are into like technological entrepreneurship kind of stuff. We have people who are into game design. We have people who are into music, sound, digital installations, art installations, engineers, things like that. So my focus within the digital culture program, you can pick like art, music, tech entrepreneurship, programming, and I picked music. So I took these digital culture classes where we focus on these really weird abstract art history and history of computing and just like things like that. But I also got to take my music classes on the side. And I actually went through a bad breakup my junior year. And that's like when I got introduced to my professor who does a lot of work with sound and nature and electroacoustic music and stuff of that nature. And I got involved in the acoustic ecology lab at Arizona State. So I've been an intern with him now for 2 years. And so we use sound as a tool for conservation and a tool for environmental documentation. I've been lucky enough to work currently with engineers, and I analyze audio from out here in the desert that we use to solidify arguments for conservatories and nature conservatories and places like that. So we do long-term environmental monitoring through systems that we build, Raspberry Pi systems, microphone systems, things like that. I work with biologists at the Phoenix Zoo, documenting animal species through sound. I've done, talk about that later. There's other work there. Yeah, and then my focus actually is in my undergrad was virtual reality. So I design and build virtual reality systems, digital physical systems. And so a part of that was actually involved in 360-degree sound. So I work with ambisonic audio mainly. So I use 360-degree microphones. That's what we use in all of our recordings. We create these VR experiences in national parks and things like that. Yeah, check out the rock and roll tutorial. Nick, damn, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. I'm working on it. Grad school's it's busy, but I'm gonna. Yeah, you should just don't think that. Like the only reason I actually made any music was for myself, really. I got tired of just playing like other people's music, and I was like, how hard can this be? And so that's what got me here. But after like I don't know, it's sort of like a self-discovery thing. Like I made music, and it was like I could share this with people, but it's kind of just like a personal accomplishment. So don't fret on the little shit. If you make a demo and make something that means a lot to you, that's all that really matters. So keep making those songs. Thanks, Nicholas. I apologize. I thought that Nick was the Nick who commented, because there's so many Nicholases watching this right now. I don't think there's really anything as bad music, to be honest with you. I know that is it sounds stupid, but things can be fixed. And I'll sit here for 3 or 4 hours on a song and just like pick it apart piece by piece. And then you have another set of ears listen to it, and it's like I don't notice, like they don't notice it at all. So this goes out to everybody who's watching. Like, feel free. My email is on the About section of my YouTube page. This is what I do for fun. If you have songs that you need a second opinion on, that you need help on, I'm not a professional, but I'm here, and just contact me and be like, hey, I'm having issues with these vocals or something like that, and I'll help out as much as I can. I hope to I'm trying to make some different, I want to make some different videos for the channel, like music production stuff, and some of the work that I do with sound in the desert. I think those would make really cool videos, and showing you guys like the engineering side of things. But they're just like, they get like 100 views, so it's I'm not here to like get views, but it's nice to have something get like 700, 800 views, and then it makes you inspired to do more of that. But I'm doing a bit here for Arizona PBS, so hopefully I'll make a little vlog about that. It'll be pretty fun. Thanks, Nix. Yeah, all 3 Nicks, or 2 Nicks, Nicolas. Here. Don't email the email on my YouTube page. Email this one. Feel free, take that email, shoot me a track. If you are gonna shoot me a track, email me beforehand, and if you don't know like the best way to bounce it, if you have a different program other than Logic, there's different ways to do it, so feel free. Somebody said, Have any advice? Oh, it's Nick. Fucking so many Nicks. Have any advice for a junior in high school? Advice on what? On life? um, honestly, don't 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 get caught up in the little shit. Um, excuse me, little stuff. Demonetized. I'm not monetized, so it doesn't matter. Don't get caught up in the little stuff, especially when it comes to like school and you know going in. If you do decide to go into college, um, don't get just don't feel overwhelmed and feel like you have to be in something because you need to be there. Uh, I have a lot of friends who started in this digital culture program and they did it for like maybe 6 months and realized it wasn't for them, freaked out. And, you know, there was sort of this stigma, especially where I'm, you know, up in the Bay Area. It's very, you know, there's a lot of people going to like big schools and, you know, doing huge things in biology and, you know, medical fields. And, um, I don't know, just don't let the other people or what other people are doing ever influence anything that you're doing. Just stay straight on your path and don't do drugs. No, I'm kidding. You think any of this music was made? Hang on. You got it. If you don't mind me asking, are you thinking about going to college? What do you study? What's your passion? I mean, obviously music. I don't know. There's so many Nicks. Somebody said they're in school for music. I can't remember. I'm going to turn my air conditioning off. It's annoying. And then we're going to finish these vocals. And then we'll just talk. Uh, Down, I did not take any singing classes. Um, it took me about half a year from when I actually started trying to sing to when I posted my first cover. And that was like 3 years ago. And a lot of that was just um, somebody asked, like, how do you find your voice? Don't listen to a song and be like, damn, I want to sing that. And then try to sing it and you can't. And it's like, oh, okay, forget it. I can't sing that. There's ways to get around that through changing the keys of songs. If you learn on the guitar and you want to play a song in a different key that might fit your voice better, that's how I do all my covers. If you actually listen to my covers and the regular song side by side, the only song that is the same is Crash. It's the only one. All the other covers, I've changed the key so that I can more comfortably sing it. Nick, I actually had all 5 of my friends were in the film school here at Arizona State. It's not a great film program, but most of them are in LA right now. My girlfriend actually is studying film, and I don't know if she's watching, but she can tell you something about that. She's, well, I won't say anything about it. I don't know if she wants me to say anything on stream. She texted me. She's busy. Absolutely down. Anytime. You guys got my personal email now, so go for it. Let's hit up these vocals. Oh, Down, you want to hear some terrible vocals? You're about ready to see it right here. This is me before I knew what the hell I was doing. But first, my wonderfully talented friend, Megan. And here I'll show you. All the magic will be ruined. You'll never see. You'll never watch one of my covers the same again because there's so much editing that goes into this. Like you can.
Through the rocks, running through the hills. I don't need you for the feel. I just wanted something real. dive into here to hold, so I spend.
So a couple things with these vocals, as vocal work can apply to any sort of music, right? Even covers.
Too cold in your heart.
I don't know if you guys can hear it, but my air conditioning was running when we were recording this, and my signal on my microphone was way too hot. So it's got this disgusting sound in the background.
It's too cold.
And I regret it, but what can you do? Megan's voice is very airy, and because of this, I often EQ her voice a little bit differently than I do mine, obviously, because I'm got a deeper voice. But I actually pull more out of the middle in her voice and increase the middle in mine, so they fit well together. However, for this part of her singing by herself, I like to include as much of it as possible. She does sing very soft.
It's too cold in your heart of fool's gold. I don't have you.
Before we put that in, I'm actually going to bring in a de-esser. And a de-esser will get rid of the harsh s and the p in the vocals. I have a default for her, or I have a default for me.
Here to hold,
You have to be careful because with a crappy de-esser, all of a sudden it sounds like you have a lisp.
so I spend my time alone.
Like that's a little bit strong.
Water drops on my face and time stops, showered in these static thoughts as I dive into the rocks.
That works. I got the channel EQ. Before we use the channel EQ at all, I'm going to compress it. Oh yeah, well, there's both of us sing on this track. This is my friend Megan, but I'm right here.
I just wanna feel.
Yeah, that's bad. We're going to use a little bit of pitch correction on there. We sing together, I think.
But I found
'Cause when I'm with you, you'll say I'm sorry. And when I'm not, you're just letting go. I get your message, now don't you worry.
Those are the vocals unedited.
I spend my time alone. Water drops
We're going to compress the shit out of these vocals. I'm going to use a vintage opto here.
on my face and time stops,
Just going to keep pulling this back until I hear something.
showered in these static thoughts as I dive into the rock. Running through the
I forgot how quiet this track was. I'm going to bump up the input gain. Hold your ears.
hills. I don't need you for the feel. I just wanted something real. To the rocks, running through the hills. I don't need you for the feel. I just wanted something real.
So I'm essentially just like brick wall limiting these vocals so that, because her voice is so soft. Dude, you can learn how to make music like this. Do you have any music production software? Do you have like GarageBand? GarageBand is a great place to start. Honestly, I was in GarageBand, had no idea what I was doing, came to Logic, and then learned it through 1 or 2 years. And now I wish I could go back to GarageBand. Like sometimes I do just for fun because all of these tools are sort of embedded in there. Not like the really high intensity stuff, like the synths and stuff, but like there's a compressor in there and there's all sorts of tools like this in GarageBand. It's like a $20 program, I think. Don't quote me.
You for the feel. I just wanted something real. Gold. I don't have you here to hold, so I spend my time alone. Water drops on my face and time stops, showered in these static thoughts as I dive into the rocks. Running through the hills, I don't need you for the feel, I just wanted something real.
Cool. Now let's EQ it. Oh, you can still make music. You don't... Do you have a cell phone to record with? I mean, so this little thing... I can't see my... They make one of these that is $100. It's called the Zoom H1, I believe, H4. This is the H5, it's a little more expensive one. But it's basically like a stereo recorder. So you record with your phone if you want to take a video. You don't need to take a video. Set that on your desk. Beautiful audio. You can process the audio. It's a great starting point. It's just a stereo microphone. It's got 2 microphones on top. $100. You can probably find one on eBay for cheaper. Yeah, GarageBand. If you have an Apple computer, GarageBand comes on it. I don't know why you wouldn't have it then.
I spend my time alone. Water drop.
All right, we're going to cut that buzzing out.
I spend my time alone. Water drops on my face and time stops, showered in these static thoughts as I dive into the rock.
So my sort of rule that I'm breaking here, I never really use additive EQ. So I never really turn anything up. I usually just cut things out. Yeah, this mic that I'm using, this mic was 400, and then the preamp that my professor gave me, was letting me use, is 500, and that's what I use to record my stuff. It doesn't mean that you need to spend $900 to sound good. I mean, you can get a really, really good microphone setup and interface for your computer for $150, which is $50 more than the one that you see over there. And if that's something that you're interested in, I can definitely make some recommendations. Right now, I'm kind of pulling down the around the 9 to 10K range is where we get a lot of the hissing in the voice.
I spend my time alone. Water drops on my face and time stops, showered in these static thoughts as I dive into the rocks. Running through the hills, I don't need you for the feel. I spend my time alone. Water drops on my face and time stops, showered in these static thoughts as I dive into the rocks. Running through the hills, I don't need you for the feel. I spend my time alone. Water drops on my face and time stops, showered in these static thoughts as I dive into the rocks. Running through the hills, I don't need you for the feel. I spend my time alone. Water drops on my face and time stops, showered in these static
Sending these to a reverb bus.
as I dive into the rocks. Running through the hills, I don't need you for the feel. I spend my time alone. Water drops
Got a nice little
on my face and time stops, showered in these static thoughts as I dive into the rocks. Running through the hills, I don't need you for the feel. I spend my time alone. Water drops on my face and as I dive into the rocks. Running through the hills, I don't need you for the feel.
I dig that a lot. This part though, I don't. So what I'm gonna do is trim that, bring this to another one. Let's get a longer reverb on there. Turn it way down. Much better.
It's too cold in your heart of rose gold.
I don't like this echo.
Have you here to hold, so I spend my time alone. Water drops on my face and time stops, showered in these static thoughts as I dive into the rocks.
I'm gonna try something a little wonky. Well, actually, no. Sorry, I'll check the chat in a second. When I get into this, I get really, really into this.
Running through the hills, I don't need you for the feel. I just wanted something real. Running through the hills, I don't need you for the feel. I just wanted something real. On my face and time stops, showered in these static thoughts as I dive into the rocks. Running through the hills, I don't need you for the feel. I just wanted something real.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Julio. Down. Half. Yeah, we're getting there. We're literally almost done. The only thing to do after this, so with the vocals, it's pretty easy because once you do it on one vocal, you can then just copy it to the rest. There's not too many vocals in this song, and then we'll do a quick master on it. We'll get it up to sort of a radio level. I struggle with that. That's the toughest thing I've ever come across in making music like this, is getting it as loud as what you hear on the radio. It's really, really hard. And all of, like, you can't just turn it up. All of the math behind that and the science behind that happens here. And so that's why you take days and days to mix these things, right?
Team, I'll clean the mess you leave me. I'll wait for one who sees that everything is not what it seems. 'Cause it's too cold
Cool. So I'm just going to copy this channel strip and apply it to her other vocals. And then we'll probably just go through and turn up the reverb. And then turn that way down. We're actually going to apply some pitch correction. Or as they call it, auto-tune. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I didn't realize the buffers. Yeah, there's a weird thing with this buffer size. It's fixed. Mastering, dude, I don't do a lot of mastering. Like I can't give you a I need a tutorial on mastering. Like the people who master, I have so much respect for people who do mastering. It's insane. So I can give you a crash course on it, but I can't like there's so many plugins and things, saturation plugins. Like I don't use anything like that. I'm just using stock. This is all stock stuff. So like if you guys have Logic, that's what I wanted to show you, is like you don't need like the fancy plugins. Of course they help when you know how to use them, but all right, let's copy this and now put it on mine. But the EQ is going to be much different because the male voice is actually most prominent in the 1300 to 1700 range, in case you are wondering.
I just wanna feel. I just wanna feel.
Some crackliness in my voice. Yeah, plugins are damn expensive. FabFilter's got a good deal. That's about it. Yeah, plugin is like over here on the left. You see these blue things? Each one is a plugin. So this right here, EQ, equalizer, picking which frequencies we want to boost and turn down, is a plugin. De-esser, which is used to get rid of the parts. Compressor, which compresses the really loud parts past a threshold that we set, so it turns the really loud parts down, so that way we can hear the soft parts and the loud parts equally. and then Space Designer, which is essentially a reverb. So like you're singing in like a hall or like a church or an empty bedroom. Which is the effect that I'm trying to get here. I think it's a little bit too much of the reverb. We need to correct that. Yeah. I mean, sure. You can do that. I never told you to do that, but yeah. Sure. We're going to dupe this, and this part doesn't really belong. This setting should be the same on this one. All right, one more vocal and we are done. Minus the mastering. And then we gotta do this real quick. What I'm doing here is called automation. So I can actually control the volume of her voice with this little line. So I want it to fade out, so I can turn it down. And then I can bring it back in when she comes in again. It seems fake. It's definitely future bass. It's not quite as happy as normal future bass, but EDM. I do like Miavono. I actually have been meaning to send him an email. Not that I think he's gonna reply. I've emailed a couple people. I've emailed Calera. I'm going to email him about collaborations. In the Mix. I love In the Mix. He's great. All right, Nick. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah. Surprise, this song has actually been out for like a couple months on my newest album, so you can hear it on iTunes and Spotify. I wasn't going to say it to the end, but yes. But the surprise is when we get to finally listen to the finished product. Have a good night, Nick. Good day at school tomorrow. That's fine for the purpose of this. I'm not going to be super, super picky. Cool. Let's finish this vocal and then we'll master it real quick. And by real quick, I mean not real quick. Because mastering takes forever.
I'll take one for the team.
I'll clean the mess you leave me. I'll wait for one who sees that everything is not what it seems. 'Cause it's too cold in your heart of fool's gold. I enjoyed my time alone.
'Cause when I'm with you, you say I'm sorry. And when I'm not, you're just letting go. I get your message, now don't you worry. Please don't tell me, please don't tell.
Please don't tell.
Me.
I wanna feel. I just. I just wanna feel. I just wanna feel right now.
'Cause it's too cold.
Yeah, you should probably go to sleep, dude. Thanks for stopping by and watching the videos and hanging out, but I want to be the reason you don't want to get up in the morning. Have a good one. Take it easy. We'll see you next time, down. Thanks for all the kind words, and it means a lot. It's not what I'm looking for. I need a long, bright haul. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's on every music site. Thanks for appreciate it. Appreciate it a lot, man. Sleep tight. That is not what I want it to sound like. Quit it. Maybe if I get rid of this. And then if I get rid of the mids.
Cause it's too cold in your heart of fool's gold. Rather spend my time alone if I don't have you here to hold. I just wanna feel let's go. Rather spend my time alone if I don't have you here to hold.
But this needs to go up here.
Cause
Cool.
it's too cold in your heart of fool's gold. I'd rather spend my time alone if I don't.
This is Logic Pro X. It is it's not that expensive in terms of music production software. I believe I bought the bundle, which came with also Final Cut and Mainstage, which is a live thing for Logic, and Final Cut's a video editing program. I think it was $200, which when this program first came out, it was like $1,100. So, you know, if you use it to make money, it pays itself off. All right, so one thing that we need to fix before mastering is going to be that kick is way too loud. But so when we do our mix before our master, we never want to exceed -6 dB. I have a feeling this is a lot lower than -6 dB. Yeah, it's 9. So we have plenty of room to work to turn stuff up. I think the sub bass is a little bit too loud. I think this wobble bass is too loud. I think that I think that this chorus synth is not loud enough. I think that this kick is too loud. This kick is too loud. The hi-hats could be brought up. Sorry. I apologize. Sometimes the buffer, so like my OBS, it's a pain in the butt. I have to adjust it every now and then. I think it's actually this transient kick that's... think I just need to turn everything in the chorus up. What software do I recommend for Windows 10? Dude, honestly, Reaper. Reaper is extremely overlooked. Reaper is what I use to do like 3D audio, and it's a really, really powerful tool. REAPER. And I believe you can get the evaluation of it and just never upgrade it. I mean, that's not what you're supposed to do, but you can have an evaluation period with it.
Leave me.
What is that clap? That. I think everything in the chorus needs to be turned up. That's not the drums. We're going to mess with the stereo field a little bit. Oh, we already are with that.
I'll take one for the team. I'll clean the mess you leave.
I don't know. I don't think it's really that big of a deal, because the song has actually already been released. So I'm just going to turn this all down.
It's too cold in your heart of rose gold. I don't have you here to hold, so I It's too cold in your heart of rose gold. I don't have you here to hold, so I spend my time alone. You for the feel, I just wanted something real.
Cool. I'm being really, really picky. Let's master it, and we'll be done. So, we're going to go on our master track here. And I'm really not going to do too much to it. Streaming, the loudness level for streaming online or digital music is -14 LUFS. Another term for loudness metering. So we're going to try to push it as close to that as possible. I don't know if we're going to be able to, because of it was just a quick mix. Things could really be worked on more, but we'll just use a channel EQ. So when I do this for the master at first, I do just reductive EQing. So I'll find frequencies that ring out that I don't like, and I'll just turn those down specifically. And I forgot to mention, oftentimes I'll add what we call a multimeter, so we can watch just how uneven it may be. So we're essentially looking at the same things on the left and the right.
It's too cold in your heart of fool's gold. I don't have you here to hold, so I spend my time alone. Water drops on my face and time stops, showered in these static thoughts as I dive into the rocks. Running through the hills, I don't need you for the feel. I just wanted something real.
Honestly, it's pretty, it's much better than I thought it looks on the multimeter.
I'll take one for the team. I'll clean the mess
So we don't
you leave
want
me.
that.
I'll wait for one who sees that everything is not what it seems, 'cause it's too cold
So that's what I'm doing, is just pulling out frequencies that I really don't like to hear.
in your heart of fool's gold. I enjoyed my time alone, but I found someone to hold.
'Cause when I'm with you, you say I'm sorry, and when I'm not, you're just letting go. I get your message, now don't you worry. Please don't tell me, please don't tell.
I don't really do a much more finer job of that. But that just gives you a basic idea. Thanks, Julio. Appreciate it. You can say you got to see it be made. So a couple of things on your final EQ. Nothing under 30 hertz or 40 hertz, 30 to 40 hertz, we can actually hear with our ears. So throw a low cut, make it almost robotic, and I'm going to bring it up to around 40. You'll never notice the difference. And so we also have to remember that we're listening to two channels here, meaning we have the left and the right. Now we can look at the I don't know how to pronounce this, goniometer, to see our stereo field. So we have what are mono signals, they're just the single signals in the middle, and then we have our left and our right. couple things that we want to remember is main vocals should always be mono. Low frequencies should always be mono. You never want your bass to be wide. It muddies up the headphones. And most places, like your iPod or your iPhone, when it plays music, it plays it mono. So things that are on the right and the left will get lost. So you got to find a fine line. With that being said, we're going to double check the stereo spread. Signals that are wider are on the left and the right. So you see the kick is just going to be a line like this.
It's too cold in your heart of fool's gold. I don't have you here to hold, so I spend my time alone.
So on the left and the right channels, or the side channels, nothing above 90 hertz should be going through those. So what you're going to want to do is add a whole separate channel EQ. What I do, not what you need to do. And I actually set this processing to side only. So this is only the side channels and not the middle channel. And I do the same thing, pull it up really high, and then I drag it up to around 90. And I want to make it sharp.
Water drops on my face and time stops, showered in these static thoughts.
It's really not that noticeable, but it will be when you listen to it on your phone. It'll clean it up a lot.
As I dive into
Just to give you an idea of what it would sound like. And if you're ever wondering what your mix would sound like in mono, imaging, direction mixer, now we're in stereo. Now we're in mono.
clean the mess you leave me. I'll wait for one who sees that everything is not what it seems. 'Cause it's too cold in your heart of fool's gold. I enjoyed my time alone, but I found someone to hold.
'Cause when I'm with you, you say I'm sorry, and when I'm not, you're just letting go.
Okay. Now, this is really, really compressed. So most people, this is not a normal thing to do, but I like to do it. I'm going to add a compressor, and it's going to be very, very, very subtle, not more than 1 to 2 dB, just for the really, really loud parts, so we can turn it up even more.
The mess you leave me. I'll wait for one who sees that everything is not.
I get your message, now don't you worry, please.
Damn it. Should be good now.
It's too cold in your heart.
Good night, Half. Thanks for stopping by and sticking around. can listen to the full song on Spotify and iTunes and all that good stuff if you'd like. We'll see you next time.
It's too cold in your heart of rose gold. I don't have you here to hold, so I spend my time alone. Water drops on my face and time stops.
You know, I feel like this is pretty. Normally, this is where I'd add a saturation plugin if I had one.
Showered in these static thoughts. Just wanna.
But I feel all right with that. I don't. Might add one more EQ.
I'll take one for the team. I'll clean the mess you leave me. I'll wait for one who's. I'll take one for the team. I'll clean the mess you leave me. I'll wait for one who sees that everything is not what it seems. 'Cause it's too cold.
I still feel like those vocals could all be brought down just a little bit. Normally, this is where you might want to add things like parallel compressors or multipressors, and I just don't see a need for this track.
In your heart of
That's what I have on the actual track. That's on Spotify right now.
through the rocks, running through the hills. I don't need you for the feel. I just wanted something real. Water drops on my face and time stops. Showered in these static thoughts. When I'm with you, you say I'm sorry, and when I'm not, you're just letting go. I get your message, now don't you worry. Please don't tell me, please don't tell.
Very confident with that for right now. The last thing that I do is now I add my limiter, and this is where we can turn it up. Our out ceiling is going to be, we never want it to go past 0, so it's going to be -0.1. And we're going to bring up our multimeter to watch our levels, and we're going to be shooting for -14 LUFS. Turn this down so I don't blow my ears out.
It's too cold in your heart of rose gold. I don't have you here to hold, so I spend my time.
What we're looking at is that top number.
Water drops on my face and time stops. Showered in these static thoughts as I dive into the rocks. Running through the hills. I don't need you for the feel. I just wanted something real. clean the mess you leave me. I'll wait for one who sees that everything is not what it seems. 'Cause it's too cold in your heart of fool's gold. I enjoyed my time alone, but I found someone to hold.
'Cause when I'm with you, you say I'm sorry, and when I'm not, you're just letting go. I get your message, now don't you worry. Please don't tell me, please don't tell.
It's not. I mean, it's good. It's good. It's just there's a couple things that I need to. Couple of things to note. I don't like the way that this sounds at all. It needs to be longer. And then we'll finish it up. Thanks, Nicholas. Cool. Yeah. I think that's it. I'm going to play through it one more time for anybody who was watching the video so they can come back and listen to the final product. But if anybody's still watching and wants to actually hear this song, it was released on our album, which came out in February, and it's on Spotify, iTunes, and anywhere that music is digitally distributed. So check it out. The song is called Colder. It's there. So thanks for watching, and I'm going to play through this one more time. All right, I'll do it one more time, but I'll say bye to you guys so you don't have to stick around. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed this, I'll definitely do a different one. Maybe we can do one all together. There's a group of people who actually want to make a song. I think it would be cool. I'm going to change this, and then I will definitely play through it one more time. But thanks for sticking around. And I will see you later. Thanks, guys. I'm going to play through this and walk away.
It's too cold in your heart of rose gold. I don't have you here to hold, so I spend my time alone. Water drops on my face and time stops, showered in these static thoughts as I dive into the rocks. Running through the hills, I don't need you for the feel. I just wanted something real. I'll take one for the team. I'll clean the mess you leave me. I'll wait for one who sees that everything is not what it seems. 'Cause it's too cold in your heart of fool's gold. I enjoyed my time alone, but I found someone to hold.
'Cause when I'm with you, you say I'm sorry, and when I'm not, you're just letting go. I get your message, now don't you worry. Please don't tell me, please don't tell.
Cool. Thanks, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something helpful from it. And we'll have to do this again. But until then, we've got an EXO guitar tutorial tomorrow. So I'll see you guys then at 3 o'clock. Have a good night.